Hello and welcome to our video of how to survive the Thanksgiving unit as a parent. We are so excited to begin this Thanksgiving unit with your students, and we just want to keep you informed of what all is going on.
So, just so that you know, we wanted to send this little note home for you. We figured it would be a little bit easier to keep track of things if it was us talking instead of you having to read on our blog. So, we're going to start out with talking about what is project-based learning, because that is the basis of what forms this unit.
So project-based learning is basically learning by doing. So we're taking information that we analyze from resources, from books, from other primary resources and documents that we have, and then from that information we create a project which showcases what we've learned. So there's going to be lots of doing, lots of building, lots of creating, lots of use of resources, which makes project-based learning very cross-curricular. For the bulk of the month of November, your reading and writing and are going to be intertwined with the social studies and other areas that we are covering. Also, almost all of the work occurs in class because you are working with a group of students and you are working on projects using resources available here in class. And project-based learning really stresses independence and responsibility with students, which is a key third grade goal.
And it really is pretty neat as a teacher to watch, because instead of, spoon feeding them information, we are guiding them to the information, and then they retain it so much better because it's them doing the looking. So it's kind of neat to see them grow from a teacher standpoint as well. We also need to talk about communication and how we're going to do that with you as parents and then also with your kids. So we will be putting some things up on the blog, but mostly that will be what we feel like you as parents are going to need to know. Our way of communicating with the students is going to be through paperwork, and that is going to be kept in their social studies binder. They have been instructed that everything in their social studies binder should be for the Thanksgiving unit, and it should stay there at all times. So by all means, ask them to bring their binder home with them, ask them to look through it, but please make sure that that stuff stays in their binder so they can be prepared.
And is returned to school.
Right, and return it to school so they can be prepared and so that their group has everything they need each day. We will be giving small grades throughout the unit, and those will go into MyCube. Mostly these smaller grades will just be checkpoints. Did they complete their research on time? Did they have their group plan filled out on time? How have they been working as a group member? And so those small grades will go in throughout the month of November, but then at the end of the project is when they will receive the bulk of their grade. And we will do everything we can to break it down so that they know what is going to be expected of them, and then also just see it at the end. How did I actually do on all of these parts?
So how does your student know what's coming up? Today in class they receive this calendar for the rest of the month of October here, and then for the month of November. On the calendar is color-coded for things that are happening as homework, when it will be introduced in class, when the assignment is due. More information will be provided on the day that it is introduced. Also, we have major projects that are going to be done in class are also shown on this calendar, as well as dates for the first multiplication test, which is not really related but also happening at the same time. So you should be looking for this calendar, but we will not be giving out your student another copy of this calendar. It is their responsibility to keep track of this and to know what's going on. Also, most of the information will be available through Google Drive and provided again throughout the course of the project.
So as far as what we expect from the kids behavior-wise for group, they are going to be receiving a grade for that, and that will be not a small chunk, but a fairly large chunk, because they do need to learn how to do that well with each other. So we will be giving them grades on how are they pulling their weight. You should be looking for a checklist to come home about that, and then we're just going to expect common courtesy and appropriate noise volume in class. The way that this project is set up is so that different projects are going to be done in both classrooms, and their classes are getting mixed together. In order for that to work, the kids have to be able to go between two classrooms very fluidly, and so we do need just a step up for expectations and behavior in order for the project to be successful.
And we know, we've seen this in the past, that students can rise to the occasion and can do this because they have so much fun doing it. And so we know that your students are more than capable of this, and once we get going, they're going to have so much fun. They are going to want to step this up, and I think you'll be amazed by the end of this unit just how much growth you see in your student over the whole time. We as teachers love that aspect of project-based learning. Also, we've kind of already touched on all of this, but what to look for at home. First, be looking for the checklist for group behavior to be coming home at least once per week once we really get going into the unit. Also, the due date calendar that we already mentioned. Look for it in your child's social studies binder. Also be asking them about what is their plan, what is their job, how did the day go, and some of their research component information that's in their project binder, in their packet every day as they're working on this project. All this information will stay in their binder, and it's a great way for you to know what's happening with your student and stay on the same page. And so just be looking for that binder as the key piece of information.
And also, just honestly ask them questions just so that if there is a problem, it will come up. And speaking of problems or questions or concerns, if there is a problem or a question, some confusion that may happen between school and home, we are asking that you please encourage your child to come and talk to us first. Absolutely, if you would like to be there to make sure that you get the information correct, you are more than welcome to come and talk to us with them, but please encourage your student to be the first initiator of questions with us. This just makes it so that we can actually teach them how to be responsible, how to carry out problem-solving skills throughout their life and just throughout the rest of third grade as well.
And so with that responsibility and the way that this project is set up and the time constraints that we're working with, due dates that are set on the calendar are set. They are not flexible. We cannot accept late work because there are key pieces with when we have to film projects and when we have to put all the components together for research and building of materials. And so late work's just not going to be able to happen. If your student or their group does not have something done, they're just going to have to be able to figure out how to make do with what they have. Now, we will go to every effort we can to try and encourage and make sure and check in with groups to make sure that they are on track. Also, if we see that it's one or two students causing the issue to happen for the rest of the group, we will take that into consideration in how we grade those other students' portion of their work as well.
And just so that you as parents know what's coming up ahead, it's kind of exciting. The kids are going to be presenting these projects to you at a Thanksgiving feast the day before Thanksgiving break. So you can look forward to seeing how much work they put into it and how great their projects usually turn out. We are so excited to see what they do this year and how they use their creativity. So I hope that you guys are getting excited to see those as well.
So just thank you for watching this video of how to survive the Thanksgiving unit as a parent. We greatly look forward to the next several weeks, and we know your student will too. So thanks for listening, and see you soon.